Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
As a small business owner, have you ever felt overwhelmed by the pressure of choosing the right hire or leading a team? Or have you ever found yourself tolerating a bad hire because you fear trying and failing again as you repeat the hiring process? If so, you're not alone, and you are in the right place. Welcome to the Growing Your Team podcast. The Growing Your Team podcast teaches business owners like you to expand your unique business by teaching you to master the hiring and team management process. Hiring and managing a team does not have to be a challenge. You just have to learn to do it right. And the Growing Your Team podcast teaches you how to become a confident leader who hires right every single time. Now, let's jump into the show where each episode you will learn tips on how to identify what type of help you need on your team, how to source amazing candidates, how to conduct interviews that lead you to your ideal team member, how to onboard successfully, and how to lead every person in your business so you have a team of rock stars who you are happy to pay every single paycheck. So let's jump in and teach you how to hire like a pro. Hello, Jamie Van Kuyk here, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. Today, we have on guest Melissa Rose. In 2009, Melissa started her business, The Dancing House, in the basement of her home. There, she taught the art of dance to students of all ages, while her babies were right along with her in the pack and play. With passion and resilience and tenacity, she created a business that has become the highlight of your week for her tribe, her team, and her community. Along with running a successful brick-and-mortar business and an online dance membership, Melissa is also a visibility coach and consultant for other local brick-and-mortar businesses, providing direction by leveraging SEO best practices encompassing Google Business Profile optimization, blog writing, social media engagement, and email and text campaigns. When not inspiring or empowering, Melissa's a mama of 5 kiddos, enjoys long hikes, playing in her garden, and connecting with others through Health in the Valley. Today, Melissa and I are talking about attracting great team members. And we're doing this by talking about how to become what she calls being the only option in town. So what does this mean? This means when people think of a business in your industry, you are the company that comes to top of mind. So not only how to do this for your customers, we're talking about how to do it with hiring, how to be a business that people want to work for before you ever have an opening to post. So you either have people coming to you asking if you have openings, or they're waiting for that day that you go to post an opening because they want to work for you. They're not just looking for a job, they want to work for you even when you're not hiring. It is a call out and a caveat here that we don't want to hire people just because they reach out to us, but we want to be that business that people want to work for, especially if you're hiring for positions that are sometimes a challenge to fill, meaning you need highly qualified team members. They maybe have license or certifications, and these people are so few and everyone's competing for them. So how do you get them on your team so you don't have to struggle? Or how do you just know that you're going to get great people because people know who you are and you're not that little fish in the big pond anymore? So we're going to talk about different tactics to become known as a great place to work and how to leverage your current team, if you have one, to help build that brand awareness. So let's jump into the conversation. Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Growing Your Team podcast.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm excited to talk all things SEO and how that can relate to your team.
Yes, I'm excited. All right. But before we get into that, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your business?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. Thanks for checking in. My name is Melissa Rose. I am from Wisconsin. I have a dance studio, and I've had my dance studio for 15 years. It's literally called the Dancing House because it started out of my house for 10 years. I am a mama. I have 5 kiddos. And in 2015, life happened and I got divorced. And that's when, at that time, I decided to figure out how to make this thing work as a dance teacher. And I've been teaching dance for years and years. And I thought to myself 3 things. I'm not the first person to start a dance studio. I'm not the first person to get divorced. And I am not the first person to have 5 kids, but I haven't seen somebody do all of that all at the same time. So that's when I actually started playing around with some online marketing. And that's where I learned a lot of what I do now, which is help brick and mortar business owners be the only option in town. So since 2016, I expanded my space. I have a commercial space. I have a team. I have some great things going for me because I really dove into SEO, marketing, digital marketing, and applying that to the brick and mortar business.
Yes, that's awesome. And of course, like, you're speaking to my heart. I grew up dancing. I still dance occasionally. Right. So it's like, ooh, dance studios. Do all your kids dance?
Not at all.
They get that fever?
One does. My
does.
Firstborn, of course, the firstborn kind of follows usually. And she is dancing for the Vikings. She's a cheerleader for the Vikings. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I was so excited. It's like when I had my first girl, I have 2 girls. I was like, she's going to be a dancer. And when she was like 2.5, she goes, I want to dance. And then she went into her first class and cried the entire time and refused to ever go back. And I just remember like walking out of that class because we left early because she wanted nothing to do with it. And she wanted me to be in there with her. And I was about 8 months pregnant. And I'm like, I cannot be getting up and down off this floor with you. So if you're not going to go in there and dance, we're leaving. And a mom stopped me and says, just keep bringing her back. She'll eventually learn to love it. And I was like, this is an extracurricular activity. I don't need her to learn to love it. I would rather put her in stuff that she loves. Yeah. So she has tried dance other times throughout the years, but it's not for her. But luckily, my second daughter, she's the dancer. So I'm like, at least I got one dancer in the family. Hey. So it's fun. But yeah, so let's talk about this concept of being the only choice. What does that really mean? Because a lot of times there is competition.
Absolutely. And competition is good. It is genuinely tongue-in-cheek, play on words. We all want to be the best. We're business owners. We want to offer the best service, products for our people. We want to, a lot of us I'm an Enneagram lover. So we're 3s and high achievers and want to do really well. So it's a play on words. However, competition is really good. However, when you are in a community, you want to be the only option. When somebody says, where do I send my kids for dance? And you're referred 5 out of 10 people in a Facebook group, or people learn that you're taking dance. So I will say the Dancing House, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I've heard nothing but great things about you. And I'm saying that because it's happened so many times with me. And granted, I need the other studios around me. I need them because I don't offer everything they do. And what's beautiful is we all refer each other well as well. So that's a whole other topic with your community of your industry. But we all want to be the go-to pizza place, the go-to physical therapist, the go-to lawyer, whatever it is.
Right.
And that's part of niching, part of knowing your demographic, communication with marketing. But I talk about SEO and optimizing your Google business profile and making sure your website is working for you.
Yeah. And, this is not a podcast where we talk about marketing, but this
No.
all goes back to hiring. One of the
Yes.
things that I have talked about a lot with people is how do you make people want to work for you before you're hiring? Because
Yes.
a lot of big corporate companies, you hear people say all the time, like, I want to work for Google. I want to work for this company. I want to work for that company. And then here we are as small businesses. We're just like, can someone notice that I'm hiring? And
Yes. Yes.
it's that concept of why shouldn't people want to work for us? Why shouldn't people be following us and waiting for the opportunity for us to post a job? And there are some small businesses that do that really well, where if they post a job, they have people that are following them because they like what they do and they want to work for them and they're waiting for that opportunity. But other people aren't taking the steps to be that business that people want to work for. And what you can share and what you can help us is help be that business that people know and want to work for before you ever post an opening.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. I'm going to give two examples. The first one is a restaurant here in town. They do such a great job. And he started this over COVID. And I do marketing for brick and mortar business owners. And a lot of restaurant owners will just post their food over and over, food, maybe drinks, maybe some appetizers. Okay. But we know what food you offer. But what this gentleman does is he has highlighted other business owners, other restaurants. So during COVID, he went to other restaurants and said, hey, make sure you take out here, take out there, take out that. Well, that expanded and rippled. And now he never posts literally about his own restaurant food. He shares the stories of his staff. Like, oh, Susie Q just dropped all the noodles on the floor. Guess what? We get to clean up. He's showing that he's super relatable. He's all about community. The place is fun to be with, that he's got this great team of teenagers and college kids working for him. And he gets so much traction. And I know for sure if he would post an I'm hiring post, he would get tons of traction and applicants. I don't even think he has to do that because he's probably got a list. What I had recent experience with this because I recently put out, and that's why I talked to you about coming on, because it happened to me this past spring where I'm not really ready to hire, but you always kind of need people next season. So this was like January. And I'm just like, let's just put it out there. Let's just see, kind of tease it out. And we had like my posts don't get a ton of traction, 3, 10 likes, whoopee, not a big deal. And this had over 50 reactions, engagements plus 3 applicants within like 48 hours apply to work at the Dancing House. Now, why is that? It's a combination of many things, but it's about, I believe, showing the inside of the business, showing the culture, showing the community. If you've been anywhere, all I hear is community right now, like really
Right.
talking about the culture and community of where people are working, and not just that I offer dance classes. People know I offer dance classes, but what does the culture like? What does it feel like? And that's being radiated within my marketing, within my website, with a blog, within my Google updates, all of that. So I really think when you can show behind the scenes, the stories, the growth, the funny stories of clients or students or whatever it is for you, but also the culture of your team, what they're doing. One of the restaurants that I do marketing for, it's March 7th right now. When we record this, tomorrow is International Women's Day. And I said, let's do some marketing around all the women in the restaurant. I mean, we have people behind the line and everything. And I'm relying on them to give me the pictures, videos, contents. And what they sent me, it's so fun. It's so fun. It's going to help them get even more people to want to work there, because the culture of working there is so fun, and it's goofy and silly, but they're working, but they're having a great time work. So I think my biggest thing is like the community and how we portray that in all areas, website, marketing, all the things.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, if you think about just like the concept of showing everything, showing that culture, showing how you treat your current employees and things like that, is the skills people have. There's so many options in different places where they can take those skills. what attracts someone to the job and what makes someone stay at that job is the culture. It is what it's like to work there. And if you're able to express that clearly before someone is ever working for you, that's when they go, yes, that's where I need to work. We do a lot of the work with our clients on writing job postings that really speak to their ideal candidate. Because we say, yeah, you can post that you need, let's just say, an administrative assistant. All right. But what does that administrative assistant mean to you? What is it like to do this role inside your organization and things like that? Where we say, once you really talk to people about what this is like inside your organization, it's when you get the better candidates. It's when you get people excited about the opportunity before they've ever talked to you. And so this is just kind of taking that step up. So you're not doing it with a job post, but you're teaching people what it's like to work with you before you have that opening, because it's how you're treating your current employees. It's it's the culture you have, and you're showing people that culture, that you value your staff, that they're part of the reason that you get to be successful as a business owner.
An example I want to share, or like another way to think about it, that person is applying for a job. All right. So for me, they're applying to be a dance teacher, a dance educator, or somebody on my team. And they might be from Western Twin Cities, which is like 45 miles away. Okay. But they could, because they're going to apply to those local studios, but they're also probably not guaranteed a job. So they're going to do a search. They're going to say, okay, I want to be a dance teacher. For example, this happened to me last year. Somebody came back from LA and she plops in the Twin Cities and she just Googles studios, dance studios. Well, I have excellent SEO. So I come up because I'm a top rated studio in the Twin Cities. And you guys, I have like less than 200 students, and I'm in Wisconsin. I'm on the border. Okay.
Yeah.
So she applies to work for me. She danced with Beyonce. And I'm like, I think that's so nice that you applied for me, and not the right studio for her, because she teaches a whole different level. Okay. But she found me because of the excellent SEO that we have and the culture that we're portraying online. So she didn't dive into the socials as much. She just Googled. So that's what I want to say there too, is if you have excellent SEO, your person might simply be Googling, the industry that they want to work in. And if you come up and you're doing it really well with updating your website and your Google business profile, they're going to possibly dig deeper into your socials, or they just might simply apply it right there because you come up first and you stick out as somebody that's doing it really well.
Right. Yeah. And while you were talking about that, it reminded me of a client I worked with years ago, because you talked about Google and they're going to like the website and all that stuff, the SEO that pops up. I had a client a few years ago that was having a really hard time getting any applicants to their job. And one of the things we looked at was their website. And their website was 100% about the business owner, 100%. And they were in an industry and they had a team where they were actually no longer working with clients. So they might be a part of the sales funnel and getting clients into the business. But once they're like, yes, I'm interested in working with your organization, they said, okay, here's the representative that's going to handle everything. I'm here if there's any big questions, but this is the person that's working on your account. And I said, well, what does that look like for someone that's applying for a job here, where this candidate's going to be doing all the client work, but the website's all about you. You don't even mention that you have a team. And that doesn't feel good when you're just like, wait, I'm doing all this work, but the business owner is the only one getting the credit. So it's kind of about, like, as you said, like your website matters too, and showcasing your culture and your team on your website, because it's not all about you once you have a team, especially if your team's actually doing the work with the clients and not just all behind the scenes.
I don't think it's ever about you. I think it's about your client. It's about the problem,
right? The work that you do. Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me, but
yeah. And it might be a little different. Like you work a lot with the brick and mortar businesses. There's a lot of businesses out there that are service-based business. Yeah. So it's that person providing that client work and a client experience and that client transformation. But yeah, but you are right. It's about what the client is getting and not about the business owner themselves, even if they're the tool that's helping them get there. But yeah, once you have a team, it sometimes drives me crazy when I go to a website and I'm like, okay, I know so and so works from here. Like, what is their exact title or things like that? And I can't find their team on their website. Or they'll have a team and it's only the C-suite team that's on the website, and the rest of it's like they don't exist. And I'm like, you have 20 employees, you don't have 2,000 employees. You can list all of them on your website.
Yeah. And that helps with SEO, everybody. All right. So when you do list your employees on your website, that you're going to say where they're from, and there's a whole bunch of things you can do there to help amplify your SEO just by doing that, just by highlighting your team.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Like, and that's something people don't necessarily think of when they're thinking about like SEO. So let's talk a little bit about that SEO, because you mentioned like this one dancer found you because she just did a quick Google search.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the simple things we can be doing to make ourselves appear higher in those searches for when people are looking for companies like ours?
Yes. I want to first specify that just because my podcast and everything is brick and mortar does not mean that this does not pertain to online. Okay. So let's say you are the solopreneur, you still need to, I'm going to talk about Google Business Profile. You need to optimize and first of all, claim it and optimize it. And 64% of business owners do not do that. Okay. And then once they do claim their Google Business Profile, they don't optimize it, which is the other part of it. They'll say, oh yeah, I got it, boom, done. And then Google kind of plugs in what they can find based off your website. But we need to optimize it. So I get pretty excited about this because I hear business owners think, oh, I need to just redo my website. I just need to find somebody else. I just need to update. I need to start over with the website. That's what they're saying. And I'll go, tell me more. And then I'll look at their website and I'm like, actually, you have a great website. It's using keywords. The words in there make total sense for the client that's searching for your solution or problem. What you're doing, nothing is connected. You don't have the URL connected to the Google Business Profile, or you haven't updated either one significantly. So they work together, and we have to, like in everything, be consistent. So many people with their website, they build it and then they leave it.
They forget it. Yep.
And you and I, as podcast people, we have content that comes up every week or bi-weekly, whatever it is, and we are updating that website. But a lot of business owners, for example, let's just say a restaurant, they are not. They put their website up, they might put their menu up, and then they don't change that menu out or update anything. Well, that Google doesn't like that. They want you to update. So that's why blogs are still a thing, even though normal people don't really read blogs. I mean, they might, but we want to create something consistently, and a blog is the easiest way to do that, for Google to crawl and find those keywords and search you well. And that's why even with your employees, like you can say where they're from or what they're doing in the community, how they impact your business, where their kids go to school in the community, and those can all be hyperlinked, backlinked. Then that shows Google that your business is active and functioning and thriving in the community.
Yes.
And then bringing that all over to your Google Business Profile as well.
Yes. Yeah. I like that. And it's like, I will admit, like, I don't think I have a Google Business Profile right now. It's one of those things that sits there on the to-do list, but I fall victim to what I think a lot of service-based businesses do that don't necessarily see clients out of a office. I don't have a physical location. So Google My Business isn't important. And it is important to help people find you. And you think like most people are searching on Google, and Google's going to favor their content and what they have versus like what they have to crawl to find out there on the web.
Mm-hmm. And if you are a business owner that hasn't done that, I have a free workshop that's super fast, and it walks you through step by step what to do. So I'm just going to drop the link here and you can put it in the show notes, but MsMelissaRose.com/Google workshop. And it's totally free. It's just an how-to. It's going to walk you through exactly what to do, how to do it, where to do it, so that it's done. Because this exercise literally takes probably about if you haven't done it, probably about 90 minutes, but then it's done. And then you can basically update it weekly within 5 minutes. Okay. So we're always constantly updating it, but it's something that needs to be done whether you have a brick and mortar or not, because people are Googling a problem that you solve.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you think about it, it's like not just your customers, people are Googling to find organizations. Like one of the things is, especially I think this happened a lot during COVID, is people started to realize that maybe the company they were working for didn't actually tie back to some of their core values, whether it's environmental things or things like that. And there was a whole boom of people that is like, well, I want to work for companies that are eco-friendly. And that is a core. It doesn't necessarily mean they work in the like kind of eco-friendly industry. But the companies themselves is an important mission to them, or a company that's giving back to certain organizations where it's like, okay, I want to do this job, but I want to do it in a place that makes me feel good about working there and helping that company raise money. And so it is some of the, I think those things also, it's like when you're able to tie in and put on your website things about you other than just what you do, it does really help people say, yes, this is what I want to work, the company I want to work for, and everything like that. And if you're able to update it with things you're doing for kind of like those extracurricular things and how you give back and the donations you're making and everything, it's probably that new content that's going to help you stay up there in the rankings.
Exactly. With that, and also bringing that, I always say my PSA every week is to bring something over to your Google business profile to highlight it once a week. And that would be wonderful. Like, did you know that we're eco-friendly, blah, blah, blah. And that could just be a little update that you bring into your Google business profile. You could then highlight a team member, then you can highlight something else that you're doing in the community. Like it's all these community things that's not just on social. It's got to be brought over there too.
Yeah. And I think that's like one of the things that probably causes a lot of confusion, because people are like, well, if my Google profile is supposed to be information about my business, what do you mean I have to update it? What do you mean like there's places to highlight, and where do people see these highlights? Like that's like kind of one thing where I'm like, even looking around when I Google things, like am I seeing these highlights? Am I just looking at businesses that don't highlight? Like where does that stuff really live, and how is it being showcased? Because Google's not like a social media platform where it's like you follow people and you get updates. So what happens with those updates that you put there?
I love it. Love it. It is a social media platform. I say that in quotes because let's say you're Googling pizza place near me. Let's just do that. Friday night, let's go out to eat. You're in a new area. You don't know the area. And you're going to have some places that pop up in order of ranking. And then you're going to be able to see whether they optimized it or not. All right. If you see a pretty one, you'll know when they optimize it because you'll see lots of pictures, you'll see lots of information, you'll see products or services, products that are telling what they offer. And this is all done in the back end of your Google business profile. So again, that workshop that I do walks you through exactly what to do. And so many people don't do it because they think, oh, I have services, I don't have products. Well, you do have products. We all have products. I am a service-based industry. Both of my businesses are. And I have a product. I have a VIP day to work with me. I have consulting. That's a product. I have one-on-one coaching. That's a product. So you can make your services products. All right. And it just gives people a visual on how you, a quick visual, like a quick less than 5-second visual of who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and the energy and the vibe that you carry with that. And then they're going to click on the website or they're going to click on your socials. But most people, when the when the pipe broke and you have water gushing in the house, you're Googling plumber. Like who do I know really quickly and who can I find quickly to get here? And you're going to see a list of plumbers in your area. You're going to go with the most rated, top rated, the one that's up there first. And that's who you're going to get. So that's who you want to be. And this goes for finding great team members. This goes for finding great service and products. This goes for everything. And I just see it as a lost, something that people go, oh yeah, I should get to that. and they spend so much time on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the things. I'm like, get here first, and then they'll go and vet you on your socials, and then they'll love you even more.
Yeah. And I think it's like one of those things you have to think about is how does your typical customer or client find out about businesses like you? If you think about it is, going to the dance studio example, the first place I looked where I was like, where's a dance studio that takes 2.5-year-olds? I went to Google. I didn't
Yep.
go to social. I went to Google because I was like, this is very specific. I want a list and everything. There's other businesses that I might stumble upon and follow on social first because maybe they post a lot on those platforms. But a lot of times, if I'm looking for something specific and I don't already know who I want to work with, I'm Googling or I'm
Mhm.
asking for referrals, but I'm Googling. I'm trying to see who does this.
Usually you're Googling first, and then you're vetting it by asking the neighbor at the ball game or in your neighborhood to
Yeah.
vet it. And that's, I ask people, and I had a referral person on my podcast because I was like, so I ask people, and it used to be when I was first starting out, word of mouth. I mean, we live in a small community, right? Word of mouth.
Right.
Everybody says word of mouth is the best, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's not word of mouth anymore, you guys. It's Google. And the reason I believe is because people are on their phones. They just look at it. They look it up themselves. They're not going to ask somebody. They're going to ask after they like, oh, I'm thinking about hiring so-and-so as a contractor. Have you heard anything about them? They have good ratings. So they're Googling you first and then asking or checking your socials.
Yes, definitely. And people that want to work for you as well, they're Googling and looking at you first. And even when we talk about this concept of, people wanting to work for you before you have an opening, what you're talking about also applies after you have an opening. Because what do a lot of candidates do? If they've never heard of your company before, especially if it's higher level positions where you want great candidates, they're going to look to see who you are as a company before they apply or before they show up to that first interview. So yes, they might go directly to your website if you have it linked, but they're also going to do a search to see what comes up because they want to see, is there other people talking about you? Is other people talking about you in not so positive ways? What do your reviews say? And all those things. And so that's all important. That image that you put out there is important. What you want people to see about you, whether it's on your own website or on other websites, like that's important. And you want people, if they're going to go and look at your company, you want to actually show up in Google. Like you don't want to be
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, I looked for this company's name and I have to go to page 3 to find them. Do they even
Exactly.
exist?
Exactly. One tip, if you haven't done this, regarding employees, make sure your employees ask your employees to leave a Google review of your business. Okay. That helps your Google SEO, but it also, those are public, everybody can see those. And then you can take a screen capture of those and then put them on the landing page of when you do hire. So now you have firsthand experience from people saying what it's like to work there, and you coach them. Say, I need honest rating and review of working here. Tell what you love, what you enjoy, what brought you here, why you came here. Like give them a little bit so that it can be a meaty versus, yeah, it's great to work here, thumbs up, a meaty review. And then those are super helpful, and of course then they help your SEO because you are getting more reviews on Google.
Yeah, that is something that I never thought about. And it's great. Like we always focus on getting reviews from clients and customers about what it was like to work with us, but from our team members as well, getting those testimonials, getting those honest things out there. And I think if they're out there for a review on Google versus just something you put on your website,
Yeah.
you putting on your website, they're like, oh, you could have doctored that. It might
Exactly.
not been exactly what they said. Oh, that's taken out of context. But when it's out there on your Google page and everything, they have to enter that themselves. So
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
I like that
it's a
tip.
good one. Yeah, it's a good one. And especially I've shared that tip with many business owners, especially if they have a team like of 20. I'm like, even if you got 10, like that's really, really helpful for all things. So
Yeah, it's great. It's all goes into how do you make people want to work for you before you're hiring? How do you become known? And that becoming known also helps with getting new clients too. So someone's following you and it's like, this is an amazing company. And now someone knows that they have a friend like that's in need of your service or products, they can refer you as well. So it's like, it helps both ways. It keeps people excited. It makes it so you don't have to struggle to get candidates, because there are some industries, there's some positions right now that if they come to me, they're like, hey, will you do recruiting for us? I'm like, I will not, because the position that you need, your candidate is not out there looking at job boards. Because this, especially like one of the things is insurance sales. I will not help with insurance sales. I'll help with other positions inside an insurance company, but not insurance sales, because either the person that's looking for the insurance job, they're brand new, they've never done it before, and most small companies don't want to be the person training them for the ground up and invest in them to maybe the person not be a good salesperson. They've had sales jobs before and they're not good at it. So they jump from company to company to try to find the place that they're good. So they're people that clients don't want either. Or they're really good at their job and they're making money, and the only reason they're going to leave is if it's not a culture fit. But they're not looking at job boards because they're like, oh, I can suck it up and deal with this because I'm making good money from being in that insurance sales position here. So if those people you want to hire are not looking at job boards, how do you inform them that you're hiring? Because they know about your business before you go to hire. They know who you are. They know your culture. They know how you treat your team members. And when you say you're hiring, they say, oh my goodness, I've been waiting for you to say that you're hiring because I'm not very happy where I am culture-wise, and I would love to work for you. So some of those clients, we say, we won't do the recruiting for you, but sometimes we'll help them figure out, how do you attract team members before you're going to go hire? So people are waiting, they're asking, are you hiring? You know, that's one of the things. It's like, you want it. So people are saying, are you hiring? And here's my resume. Can you keep me in mind for when you are hiring next?
That's the best feeling. That's just the best when you have a stack of people like, I could hire, I don't have a spot yet for you, but I thank you so much. It's the best place.
Yeah. It's like one of the leadership books that I love that I recommend a lot on this podcast is called Turn the Ship Around. And even that, it was a situation where it's about a commander in the Navy and everything. And he was a submarine. And it was like, before he was put in charge there, it was known as like the last stop in someone's Navy career, because they weren't re-enlisting if they were put there. And then it was like he had one of the highest re-enlistment records of people that were there because he turned things around and he made it a better environment. But one of the things is people started asking to be put there, to have that be their next spot that they were assigned, because it became known that this was a great place to work. It was a great place to be assigned. And it was no longer a place that you were going to hate so much that you didn't want to be in the Navy anymore. So it is some of those things where it's like, there are these examples out there where you can become the place people are asking to work, even when you don't have openings.
Yeah. Yeah. And that comes down to great leadership and using all the tools to make sure people know about it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And one a caveat that I want to throw out here is, don't get swayed when great candidates come your way just because they're great. Like you mentioned the one dancer, she danced with Beyonce, and you're like, she really wasn't the right fit for our studio. But someone could see there and be like, oh my gosh, this person wants to work for me. I am going to make a place for this person because they are amazing. And when you do that, sometimes you go against what your core product and service, and you're making a place for someone versus finding someone that fits what you need. So don't get thrown off and kind of starstruck by candidates. Make sure when you go to hire that they are still the person that you need, but do your due diligence and everything, so that way you do have candidates coming to you at all the time. You got that flow.
I love that. Thank you for that. That's so true, because it would have been me catering to her and not my clients. And so I was able to refer her. I was able to refer her to another amazing studio, and they hired her and it all worked. But yeah, that's a good point you picked up.
Yes. All right, Melissa, we have to start wrapping up for today.
Yeah.
So tell everybody how they can get in touch with you.
All right, everybody. I'm a podcaster as well. My podcast is Brick and Mortar Visibility. I come in every week to share with you tips, tools, and strategies that I've learned in my brick and mortar business to help you in yours. A lot of it revolves around SEO and your Google business profile, but I also share stories and things that happen in the day-to-day of running a brick and mortar business.
Yeah, so we'll definitely share a link to that and remind everyone again, what is the
Yeah.
link to your workshop?
Yes, this is a totally free workshop. It's about 35 minutes long. If you speed me up, I sound super smart. MsMelissaRose.com/Google workshop. That is my free workshop there. Of course, you can hit the menu bar there, and there's other options too for ways to work together or free workshops. But this is the one that most people love and get so much value out of. So go ahead and grab it.
Sounds good. And of course, all those links and more will be over in the show notes that you can find on growingyourteam.com. All right, Melissa, my last question that I love to ask all my guests. We've all had leaders or managers that have stood out to us. Think of a leader or manager that stood out to you and share one thing about them.
I'm a consultant, so I help other brick and mortars with their marketing. And I'm going to, even though it's my own business, I have to answer to that client, right? And this client, I just absolutely love working with. And the reason, and this is a similar thing with other ones, they know your gifts and they trust your gifts. So then you can just do the work and it's so fun. So I think when you have a leader that believes in you and trusts you, and then the communication is very open and it's upfront with both sides, I think that's just a win. And you know what you're winning, you know what your wins are, you know what you're going for the same thing. I just love that. But for me personally, I'm a creative, I want to have that flexibility. So when I have somebody who just trusts what I do, and so that I can just spread my wings and do what I do really well, it's super fun.
Yes, trust is super important. It's trusting your team members. Like, you hired them for a reason. Those clients are hiring you for a reason. So to trust that you're going to do what you were hired for, and your team members are going to do what you hired them for. Of course, with some guidance, feedback, communication, all that stuff is super important, but trust should always be one of the top things when it comes to leadership relationships.
Yes, definitely.
All right, Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today on the Grow Your Team podcast.
Thank you so much, Jamie, for having me. This was fun.
Are you ready to hire a new team member for your business, and you want to ensure you hire the person who can succeed in the role, make you happy, and positively impact your bottom line? Then let's talk and see how growing your team can help you master the art of hiring. Through bespoke hiring frameworks and comprehensive guidance, you will learn how to attract candidates who have the passion you desire and the skills needed to succeed. At Growing Your Team, women entrepreneurs and leaders work with us to help them expand their unique businesses by teaching them how to hire like a pro. Let's connect and see how we can help you. Send me an email at jamie@growingyourteam.com. That's Jamie, JAMIE, @growingyourteam.com, or head on over to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart, with jumpstart being all one word, and let's talk about how you can become a confident leader who hires right every single time.